So what subclass should you use as a Slayer main? This is one question I get asked a lot, and it depends on what you really want. Every class has a different role, either as a main class or a subclass. In this video, I'll give a breakdown of what each can do as a subclass and stuff that some cannot do. You have 9 subclass options. Hunter, giving you incoming damage resistance. Not a bad subclass for Slayer since Slayer is very squishy. And you can also gain an active called Hunter Physique that also increases damage resistance. And on top of that, if you learn the 2 sub-skills with it, the cooldown is reduced and you'll get a shield that will help you tank 1 hit whenever you perform photon arts. But you don't have access to Warcry or Iron Will, so you cannot live with 1 HP as Iron Will is main class only, and Warcry pulls aggro towards you, and it's also main class only. Fighter gives bonus potency and PP recovery whenever attacking downed enemies. That's about the only benefit that you will get as a fighter subclass. The rest is mostly main class for some skills. Ranger gives you ailment resistance. This means you'll be more resistant to elements like fire, dark, wind, and any other element. On top of that, you have access to Ranger's kit with assault rifles, such as spread shot and grenade perks. The Rifle Grenadier Advanced skill can give you iframes when triggered, and you can spam this if you're having trouble with Slayer's counter mechanics, which I don't recommend. Gunner gives on-hit PP regeneration. This is a good subclass for on-hit PP regen, but that's literally the only reason unless you want to multi-weapon the TMGs with the gunblade. And considering that both weapons require you to be up close to enemies to deal bonus damage, it doesn't sound that bad at all. Plus you have access to the Hail of Bullets active skill if you multi the gunblade with TMGs. But you will not have access to the chain trigger, because that is main class only. Force gives natural PP regen. Overall, this is a very good subclass if you have PP issues. And you have access to a very good skill called Eradication PP Gain. What this does is every time an enemy nearby dies, you will get 5% PP back, which is very good when you're farming PSEs in combat zones. And Slayer's Waving Regale, stay its PA, comes instantly when you cast it, which is very good. So if you're PSE farming, 4 sub is the play, unless you have the crystal weapon and build it up with its potential that also gives PP back on enemy death. Then you can sub something else instead of Force if you have the crystal weapon. Tector grants faster photon blast charging, either on bosses or enemies with the same elemental weakness as your weapon. For Slayer, this is very good. Ideally, you want to use your photon blast as much as possible so that you can charge your focus gauge to max instantly. It works great, and if you have high levels on your add-on skills, those are also a plus since a lot of those involve your photon blast as well. Braver is good for self-healing rest assigns. Braver is good to help heal a good amount of HP and PP. And on top of that, when you fall and recover, Braver has a skill that helps you recover a small amount of HP when you recover from a fall. And you also have access to the Brave Combat as well, and you can also use its active skill. Bouncer is good for increasing the chances of downing bosses and deal damage to broken parts. A lot of the core features is only for main class for Bouncer. And keep in mind, I've said this many times already, the special ability optimization Bouncer and Braver only works for hybrid classes. And Waker helps with HP recovery, a bit of damage reductions and increased heal amount, and rest assign usage. So depending on chance, you'll recover some HP back if HP drops at a certain level, reduce incoming damage the closer you are to death, and increase the heal amount. And using rest assigns are different compared to how it's normally used. Instead of gaining HP back instantly, you'll gain it back slowly for 10 seconds, and at a chance, whenever you use a rest assign or reverse assign, there is a chance that it will be used for free. So yeah, all classes of course give different perks. If you want damage resistance, go Hunter or Waker. If you want bonus damage on bosses, stick to Fighter sub. But for some bosses that has breakable parts, it's better to go Bouncer sub instead. For HP recovery, Braver is a good subclass for that along with Waker. Force for natural PP regen and PSE farming if you do not have a Christia weapon, or Tector with its Photon Blast perks. I myself mainly go Tector sub because I love to use Slayer's Photon Blast. It has very good damage and can fill up the focus gauge to max. But for some situational parts that relate to breaking parts, like DFA or nails, I will go Bouncer sub. Or if I'm fighting like vets or anything related, dreads, I'll go Fighter sub. Generally, if you want to deal damage, Fighter, Bouncer, or Tector is your go-to. The rest is really for situational purposes. But let's switch the roles around for a bit. Let's say you're playing another class, but want to use Slayer as a subclass. Slayer is very good at giving crit chance, up to 3% crit chance as a subclass and 2% on bosses. The only things you will not have access to is the overdrive active for Slayer, Unleash Rage, and some skills that require Slayer as a main class. If you want to use Slayer as a subclass just mainly for the crit chance, and that's still good, then you're solid. And if you have like a fix of Fatal on your weapon, then that makes having Slayer as a subclass even better, because that'll increase your crit chance even more. You can try to make use of the Gunblade as a subclass, so that way you can build up the focus gauge, because it also works as a subclass. But your best course of action is probably doing the step counters into weapon action, because it can charge the focus gauge pretty fast. I have not tested Slayer as a subclass with the weapon itself, but I'll give it a shot whenever I can. As for spending your skill points, here's my tree for everyone who's been asking. Gunblade Focus, 15 points into critical up, that's 3%, 10 points into Gallant critical up, and that's 2%, 5 points in crit hit PP gain, 5 points in gauge amplifier, 4 points in reset PP gain, and everything else that does not require Slayer as a main class. I've gotten a lot of responses saying, why did you put more points in gauge amplifier and reset PP gain? My answer to that is, it's better to have more points here instead of having points into skills that require main class. And if that's the case, it's like wasting 9 points into all the main class skills with no benefit at all. You can't use Overdrive because that's main class only, you can't use Unleash Rage because that's also main class only, so on and so forth. But yeah, that's about all I can come up with when deciding which subclass to use as a Slayer main. And if you're using Slayer as a subclass, you just have to be mindful of where you spend your points, as getting those skill reset passes are hard to come by now. But yeah, I hope this helps. If it did, I'd appreciate a like and sub to the channel for more PSO2 content, and I'll see you all in the next one.